Okay, Houston, we've had a problem here.
This is Houston. Say again, please.
Houston, we've had a problem.
Hey HC, Mr. Bergman here. Today we want to learn how to set up our science notebook. So you need to get out your composition notebook, grab it, and follow along. When setting up my chill or my fill notebook, the chemistry interactive learning log, I've got my packet and I've got my book first. So I've got the packet, I'm going to set that aside. The very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to then just write in the title. So this is for chemistry, physics, you do a little differently. You're just going to say chemistry. And if you look at the sheet on this page, it also says chemistry, your name. So we're going to say the name of this person is Hope Wins. That's her name. And Houston Christian High School. Notice I've got a Sharpie here. And you're going to write Mr. Bergman. And then write the school year. So for example, 2021, 2022. So that's the first page. All right. The next page, I'm actually just following along on this sheet. So if you walk to page 2, I'm going to write table of contents. So on page 2, if I can get there. Now that bled through, so I'm just going to write table of contents right here. Make sure that when you're making these, you buy a book. I got one that's got 80 sheets, and I should have bought one that has like 120 sheets. You're going to then leave several pages blank. Got that? Now what you're going to do is we're going to start a new unit. And I think it's best to start a new unit on this type of a page. And thus I'm going to actually use a different pen. And now we're going to set it up for level 1, right? So for level 1, I'm just going to write in big, bold letters, level 1, matter and measurement. I brought a highlighter, so what I might do is wait for this to dry. And then on the next pages is where we'll start the notebook. But the next thing we're going to do is we're going to then jump to the back of the book. All right. And we're going to leave the back few pages for our important tables. So if you take your packet and go towards the back of the packet, in chemistry, it looks like these. It starts with the elements to memorize. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to literally cut these sheets of paper and I'm going to tape them into the paper. Now, not all of these things are going to have any meaning to you until later on. I recommend you cut them individually because they aren't exactly centered. All right, I'm just creating this stack of papers, if you will, here. Next up, I'm going to literally tape them in there. There's a bit of a rhyme or reason. Probably something you're going to use almost the most is your periodic table. So I'm going to put that as the last page. Notice I'm at the very back of the notebook. Something else that you're going to use a lot, especially early on in the game, is the table of conversions, the useful conversion sheet. And there may be other ones that we add over the course of the year, but that gets us a pretty good start on where that's headed. Now I'm going to flick back to the level 1. I've got level 1 right here. And if I come back to my packet, I'm going to find the notes starting with, level 1. There they are, starts right here. First one is there's the mission tracker. So we're going to cut each of these out. Now it's important that they're done in order so that one is, 1.1, etc., and one's 1.2. And then what you're going to do is, if you take a look at 1.1, all right, it says here, it's important to note here, I don't know if you can see this, but it says anticipate 3 pages for these notes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say 1.1 properties of matter. And it says to leave, as you see, 3 pages. So I'm just going to leave 3 pages. In class, we're going to learn more about how I want you to take notes. So 1, 2, 3. And then there are the worksheet. There's the worksheet. So we're going to cut that out. That's why this is in this format. Note there's also here a pre-video question. So maybe you want to copy down, Jeff Wing, you're going to copy down this pre-video question. Maybe I'll just answer it and include the question. Set up your, it says, when do you think of chemistry? What are the top 5 words that come to mind? And I'll say, when I think of, and I'll let you fill that out. All right? And then this is 3 pages, so 1, 2, 3. And then worksheet 1.1 will get taped into here. And eventually I'll work that out. I think you're getting the idea. Now we move to the next page, and now we have 1.2, all right? And this says here, anticipate 1 to 2 page. This is a little bit shorter, so I'm gonna write up here at the top, 1.2. See with my marker. And I'm writing the pre-video question. I wrote that out right there. So here's 1.2. And it says anticipate 2 pages, 1 to 2. So let's go ahead and round up to 2. That's 1 and 2. And we're going to now tape out this. Now notice it's got extra spots here. This is going to be your call if you want to keep this, if you will. Probably want to answer the pre-video question ahead of time. You may want to just copy down the pre-video question too. That is going to be like 100% up to you. And that was 1.2. Then you move on to 1.3. It says expect 2 pages. I think you're getting the gist of what's going on here. And you continue this process until you get the end. And then one last thing, the rest of the packet is at the very, will always be at the front of the packet, has other information, particularly like experiments. Here's an experiment. You're gonna turn those in separately, and then I'll be grading them as part of your grade or whatever. But keep that together, keep it stapled, leave the hole punch, put it in your notebook. But the key is you're gonna have your chill notebook, and I would put your name and stuff on the top front here too as well. So it's all set up with all your tables and all of your papers built in. You guys are awesome.